Hello and welcome back to Grandpa Does Tech. Today I thought I'd do a quick review of the Apple Worldwide Developers Conference that was held yesterday, June 8th, 2026. So this is called the Apple Worldwide Developers Conference 2026. It was a long keynote speech, and unfortunately it was actually all about just software. A lot of folks were expecting hardware to be discussed and released, and it wasn't. I'm going to assume most of that wasn't released because they're still working on artificial intelligence, or what they're calling Apple intelligence. And there's a little bit of discussion in here about that. For those of my friends and followers that doesn't know what the Apple Worldwide Developers Conference is, it's actually an annual event that's held for people who actually create applications for the Mac environment. And there are thousands and thousands and thousands of applications that you can use. You'll find those in the Apple Store. And some of them are free. Of course, some of them have in-app purchases, so you can try them out. And if you like something, you can pay for it. It's usually very, very cheap, as in just a couple of dollars. And so that is basically what the Apple Worldwide Developers Conference is. They call it WWDC 26 or 2026. So let's talk about what it was all about. I would not recommend watching it. It's very long. All the YouTube influencers are calling it boring, and it was hard to watch, to be quite honest with you. It was not the typical Apple production, as far as I'm concerned, that held your interest. Of course, I'm more hardware focused than I am software focused, so maybe that also leads to not believing that it was all that interesting. So I think even I saw a couple comments from developers who said that it was boring, but it was necessary for them. So let's jump into it. Right now, the latest Mac operating system is called Tahoe, and the new release, when it's available, is going to be called the Golden Gate, macOS Golden Gate. And what that includes is some updates on the UI and the liquid glass opacity, which a lot of folks don't really care for. You'll be able to basically turn it off or make changes to it that you like in order for you to see the icons, and also the corner radiuses. Um, Something really nice is going to be a faster app launching. We like that. And then I've just started using AirDrop myself, and this is where you can send stuff back and forth to someone who has the iPhone, or actually even from your iPhone to your computer. It's going to be 80% faster. So that's kind of nice. And then we have some general OS updates, and those are iOS 27 support for older devices, goes all the way back to iPhone 11. There's going to be improved cellular Wi-Fi switching. There's some doubt that they've actually accomplished this with software improvement, but this is what happens when you're out walking around and you have cellular versus Wi-Fi turned on, and there's sometimes a lag between the two. And applications, even YouTube videos you may be watching while you're walking, which is not really recommended, but a lot of people do that. There's a lag, so it will be resolved, hopefully. Custom equalizer for AirPods, if you have the AirPods, which I will be doing a video on AirPods, especially when the new ones come out. But I have the AirPods Pro 2s, and I really like those. They really help with my hearing, as some people are beginning to claim that I'm becoming hard of hearing and need hearing aids. And those AirPods actually help me hear better. And there's an enhanced 3D building rendering in the Maps app. And so that's interesting. I do like the Maps app. I'd like to have a CarPlay stereo, Apple Play map in my car, but I just haven't upgraded my vehicle, or I have not upgraded the head unit in my cars so I can have that. But I would like to have Apple CarPlay. Trust and safety. This was probably a pretty big announcement, especially for those of us who are grandparents and we're concerned about the safety of our grandchildren and great-grandchildren. There's some new child account management features, which has adjustable usage limits. And then there's adult content protection. I think the biggest thing to say about this, though, is that there's a limit on there. The most interesting thing is there's a limit on there of exactly who they can talk to through their map, through their phone, as far as texting and things like that. And they have to, with these new features, the child has to actually ask the parent for permission to add a particular individual to their list of contacts that they're allowed to talk to. So I thought that was really, really cool. For Siri AI, Siri is, of course, the automated feature where we ask it to do things. It's now, as everybody knows, it's Gemini-powered artificial intelligence. And I've been using Gemini AI ever since they announced that they were going to team up with Siri. I do like it. It works really well. It's only going to get better. So AI is not something to be afraid of. It's just another tool. But it's going to run on your device, and also there's a cloud compute. Again, this goes to trust. Basically, Apple is making it where they don't even have access to anything you do on your phone. The key capabilities include what they're calling agentic control, and this means performing complex tasks across apps and files, such as finding specific videos or documents, managing calendar invites. This is the automation of AI. Most AI platforms, you have to provide it a prompt. For instance, the one they like to talk about most of all was if you're on a web page and let's say you're the one guy I watched was talking about you're going to buy some boots. Let's say you want to buy some Tecovas boots, which I could never afford. But let's say you want to buy some Tecovas cowboy boots. They're out of stock. So you can just tell the web page to follow Tecovas, and as soon as they come back in stock, they send you a notification. So that's pretty cool. On-screen awareness. Siri can understand what you're currently viewing on your device. So you can say, hey Siri, what is this? Spotlight integration. System-wide search that allows for complex queries. I'm going to actually do a video on Spotlight. It just dawned on me when I read this earlier this morning that a lot of folks don't know what Spotlight is and how to use it. It's actually a very useful function, especially for seniors. Natural Conversations, a dedicated app for continuous dialogue similar to ChatGPT and Claude. If you watch very many videos, especially the travel videos and the food bloggers, the food travel guys, such as Mike Chin and Sonny from Best Food Reviews Ever. Here lately, I've noticed that they're all just talking to their phone and saying, tell me about this dish, blah, 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 blah. And you'll be able to do that now with the new Siri. And so that's pretty interesting. I can't wait to see that. Visual intelligence camera. You'll actually be able to identify objects in real time. I think that's I'm already beginning to see some of that with our current cameras and our phones, because I can take a picture of a weed out in my yard and it tells me what that weed is. And so making it even better would be very useful. App integration. Safari will have tab topics and website monitoring, which I just talked about. Passwords, agentic automation. Again, this is where the AI actually does this without any prompting from you. And messages, they'll be able to create smart notes and suggestions. For those of you who have the Home Pods and soon to be Apple cameras, the Home app, and that's the name of it, Home, Home, Home app, will have AI-powered security camera analysis, and it'll tell you what's going on. I have that with my Ring cameras now, and it tells me who's in my yard, like a white car has pulled up and is delivering a brown package to the front porch. And that's kind of cool and interesting. And then natural language shortcut creation. Shortcuts is probably something I'll do way on down the road, but shortcuts is a little mini application that you create to automate certain processes on your Mac. That's a little more complicated than what my target audience is interested in, more than likely, but I'll do one and release that to the world. Image playground and photos, photorealistic image generation, advanced photo editing, spatial reframing. That's interesting. That's where, just like right now, where I'm here, if I wanted to move my camera over to the left or right, I can move my camera over to the left or right after I've already shot the picture. Changing eye contact. That is one that I'm most interested in because when I do these videos, I would like to have my eyes looking more at the camera, and I should be able to do that. But if you have a photo, you can do the same thing. If you missed having the eyes looking towards the camera, you can do that in this new release. So I'm excited about seeing that one. Let's talk about what was missing. Hardware. They were promising, and they being all these YouTube influencers who talk about all these leaks about what's coming, they are absolutely certain that next gen Apple TV 4K was coming, and home OS hardware. So I want the new Apple TV 4K, but I'm hoping it comes with a built-in camera. Why? Because it's pretty cool. Suppose the price is going to be the same as what we have now for Apple TV, which is 4K, $99, maybe less at the Black Friday events and stuff like that. I'm sure they're going to release it by then. I hope they'll have all this worked out. But the neat thing is you can set this on your TV console and actually go into Apple TV and do a FaceTime. You can buy the 4K Apple TV's box, a little black box about this big, and it's supposed to going to have a camera on it. And that way you could actually FaceTime through your Apple TV onto your big screen television and actually talk to your family and your grandchildren and everybody else. I personally would like to set up a Sunday afternoon call with my son and daughter-in-law in Connecticut, and then with my son and his significant other in Atlanta. And every Sunday afternoon, except I think he works on Saturday, on Sundays, every Sunday. So on Saturday, I guess, whatever day he's available, I would like to have a weekly call with them just to catch up and find out what's going on. And it'd be really cool to be able to do it, not having to hold a iPhone up in the air, or trying to what do they call that? You cast it to your television off your iPhone, and that sometimes doesn't work. So having an Apple TV that actually allows you to just go ahead and do this would be really, really awesome. Let's see here. I was checking to make sure I was recording. Okay, Mac Studio. Now, most of you could care less about a Mac Studio. Mac Studio is a very powerful machine. I would love to have one. I don't have the budget for it, so I won't be buying one, but I was kind of interested in seeing what it was going to do. It was going to come with, the Mac Studio was going to come with M5 Max and M5 Ultra. So I was interested. So maybe in 5 years, I could pick it up for a budget price that I could actually afford. If you watch my previous video on sales, 3-4 years later, you can buy this really high-end stuff. You can buy it at steeply discounted prices. And I was hoping maybe down the road I might pick one up. Then the last thing was iPhone Ultra, the foldable phone. Everybody thought iPhone thought that it was going to come out at this event. Well, it didn't. and I don't know why. Maybe they're running behind on its production. There's a lot. Some people are saying the foldable iPhone is not going to come out to 27 and possibly 28. So we'll have to see. I don't watch the rumors. Maybe I should, and I could start doing a video on all the different rumors, just like everybody else. And that might be useful. I don't know how useful that'd be to my market, to my audience. So, when are the hardware releases coming? Well, there's always the possibility that they'll do a soft release. They just did a soft release on the M5 devices that they released. So that what that means is instead of having a formal event where they announce it, um, they just release them as a soft release. They'll just do an announcement, say it's coming out, so go get it. What we're all thinking is that they have to have these devices out before the holiday season starts. So hopefully before Thanksgiving, maybe in October, maybe even prior to Halloween, we would see the holiday release of all these devices. And because people need to be saving up their money, they're not going to be cheap. Everybody's trying to say Apple's going to hold the price, but with the RAM shortage and the shortage in SSDs, which drives up the prices on all this hardware, I don't know if the prices are going to be the same as they were. Excuse me, my office assistant has decided to join me, and she's not very modest at all. And then my big thing is if they're going to release the Mac Neo 2, I'm sure hope that they're going to release that before the new school season starts so that all these college-bound kids and even high school kids can actually get a new MacBook Neo 2 before the school season starts. Why is that important? That's important because getting people a competitively priced laptop such as the MacBook Neo, which on education discounts $499, that brings them into the Apple ecosystem. And as they learn on the MacBook ecosystem, they'll stay more than likely in the MacBook ecosystem, and later on they'll upgrade to bigger and better MacBook computers, which keeps the MacBook side of things growing. Apple makes the majority of its money right now from the iPhone, and coming up fast is all the services they provide. So as long as they keep providing a reason to buy a MacBook and bringing new people in, people such as students, seniors, and those with limited budgets into the system, we have a never-ending supply of people who are buying into the system and buying services. I personally use a service that I didn't think I'd ever use called Creator Studio. And I did that because it was cheaper than running the software that I was running. So those kind of things we're going to be seeing in the future. None of us are going to have, just like I was talking about the Mac Studio, and it's so powerful. We won't need those in the future because everything will be what's called thin client, which means you have a box on your desk or a laptop that connects to the internet, and you'll run all your applications through a server. And so that's where we're headed. That's where we're going. So there won't even be any use for a powerful laptop, a powerful desktop, or even maybe even not even a powerful iPhone. It'll be a dumb client too. So everything will run through the web eventually. So is the consumer tech industry dying? As of today, right now, yes, it is. The reason it's dying is because strictly because of the RAM, which is random access memory, and the SSDs, which is solid state drives. The shortage of these chips that are needed, called NAND chips, to build these RAM chips and the SSDs has caused a huge cataclysmic destruction in the consumer tech industry. It's affecting Apple. Everybody thought that it wasn't, but on the I follow the PC market as well. I don't post anything for the PC market, but I follow it. And like the PC gaming market, heavy reliant upon people being able to buy uh, computers that run the very high memory chips, meaning a lot of memory chips, and SSDs and graphics cards with memory on them. And you just can't afford it. It's just gotten so expensive. I was watching yesterday, my favorite YouTube channel is Craig Neidel, and he was talking about SSD sales. And I noticed that every SSD that he was saying on there, and he admitted that this was not good, were not good deals. It's just they were less than they were. But such as a 2 terabyte drive, SSD drive, was now $400, like $389. But nobody's going to pay that. I wouldn't pay it. I have multiple SSD drives that were 2 terabytes that I paid like $120 for just last year. So it's ridiculous. It's obscene, and right now it's killing the consumer tech industry. But hopefully by 27, uh, the NAND shortage will be eliminated. I said a long time ago that all these fourth world countries that are so impoverished and need industry, that people with money should actually go over there to these fourth world countries, and they should build um, these chip manufacturing plants. And we can assemble here in the United States as we try to make sure that we're keeping everything in America, that in the United States, that we can. You can assemble them here, but the NAND chips themselves need to be built somewhere else so there's more supply. It's a supply and demand problem. Artificial intelligence has sucked up all these NAND chips, all these memory modules, and basically caused this problem. So right now the consumer tech industry is dying, but there is hope. So on that happy note, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe and make comments. I welcome your comments. Just be polite, follow the community standards, and I will respond. Tell me what you think about the Worldwide Developers Conference 2026 that Apple put on. Did you watch it? I think it was a waste of time, to be quite honest with you. It was quite boring. But anyway, I'm happy to have done it for you. And if you would like to know more or discuss this some more, just leave some comments. I'll be happy to talk to you about. Other than that, please watch the rest of my videos and like and subscribe. I need to start building this channel. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.